Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on all things IPW. I am the voice of Independence Pro Wrestling, J-Rod. The toughest tournament in pro wrestling took place on June 29th in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and 8 of our best competed in a single elimination tournament to determine who would challenge for the IPW Championship in the main event of War on the Shore 4. The opening matchup saw Dior Nolans take on Mondo Real. Nolans came into the tournament as a bit of a dark horse, but also as the man with the most momentum, knocking off 3 other tournament qualifiers in a 4-way match at Road to Glory just 7 days prior. The momentum of Nolans would continue building as he beat Mondo Real to move on to the semifinals. One half of the IPW Tag Team Champions, Bedrick Bison, rolled into the Fate of 8 solo, and that would be a tactical error as his opponent Anderson Knight brought back up Big Jorge. Everyone was skeptical that Jorge would not be true to his word and would do something to hinder Anderson Knight. However, when Bedrick Bison tried to take a shortcut, it would actually be Big Jorge to notify the referee, which presented an opening for Anderson Knight to pick up the win and advance in the tournament. Fan favorites Max Morrison and Chad Alpha locked horns next. When we last saw Morrison, Jeremiah Nazareth returned to IPW to cost 3 Hearted the tag team titles. Morrison was obviously anxious about the potential of Nazareth meddling in his business once again, and Morrison's divided attention cost Morrison to hesitate in a pivotal moment, leading to a Chad Alpha jackhammer and a 1-2-3. Jeremiah Nazareth reached out to IPW to send a message to Max Morrison regarding his paranoia.
It's very frustrating, Max. All I've ever wanted to do was help you. And it seems that at every turn, you are resisting me. All I did was eliminate the distraction that was the Tag Team Championship so you could focus on Fate of 8. And what did you do? You spent your whole Fate of 8 match against Chad Alpha waiting for me to attack you. I'm trying to help you. I forgive you, by the way, for squandering the opportunity I gave you. I just need you to get in line. You need to listen to me. You need to trust me. You need to follow me. You need to bend to the will of Nazareth.
Chad Alpha has more than earned a title shot against Jamal King, as he has been the #1 contender for months now, but King has refused to face him. In order to get that rematch, Chad Alpha absolutely needed to win the tournament. He took his first steps with the win over Max Morrison. By default, the last match of the quarterfinals would be LaDon Sanders versus Terry Van Avery, or so we thought. When Van Avery's music hit the speakers, a very loud clash noise was heard from behind the curtain. Moments later, Terry Van Avery would come crawling through the curtain, blood pouring from his face, and Josh Raymond standing over him, steel chair in hand. Raymond would deliver several more chair shots to Van Avery before requesting a microphone. Terry Van Avery challenged Josh Raymond to a match at War on the Shore, a full year removed from Josh Raymond brutally attacking his former best friend and tag team partner without warning. Josh Raymond finally accepted the challenge before finishing his speech with one final sickening chair shot to the head of Terry Van Avery. At War on the Shore, we will finally witness the biggest grudge match in IPW history. Durag, Black Platinum Marcus Porter, Kevin Storm, RC3, and Big Jorge competed in a 5-way match with implications on the Michiana Classic, the annual time entry over-the-top rope elimination match that takes place every War on the Shore. The winner of that match gets 365 days to reap the benefits. A shot at the Michiana Championship. The winner of this match would get the privilege of being the final entrant in the Michiana Classic. A huge advantage. Fans were showing a heavy appreciation for Big Jorge, but it would actually be Durag to steal the win at the last second. Due to the assault Terry Van Avery just underwent, it was obvious he wouldn't be able to continue in the tournament. We would tap into our alternates, and the colonel of clapping cheeks, LaDon Sanders, had to face the last-minute replacement, Brutus Dillon. This huge mismatch in size and power would be far too much for Sanders, and Brutus Dillon would advance to the semifinals. During our intermission, interim IPW Michiana champion Jimmy Hype Sholwin conducted the live event raffle. During the raffle, our video screen began showing an image of Sholwin's basement. Apparently, someone hooked up a secret camera, catching a conversation between Sholwin and Mondo Real. Mondo Real mentioned that recently, Jimmy Sholwin has faced a few unlikely challengers for his title. Most recently, Jamie Eternal, a great wrestler and formidable foe, but not someone who was recently in contention for the title. This was showing a pattern, because prior to that, Brutus Dillon is someone Sholwin has seen many times over the past 2 decades of wrestling, and so has Schwartzy. The video would cut to a very grainy image of a figure speaking directly to Sholwin. The figure told Sholwin that he had been there through Sholwin's entire career and was even responsible for Sholwin's career. As the image slowly became clear, the man stated that there would be no Jimmy Sholwin if not for Jimmy Jacobs. Jimmy Jacobs congratulated Jimmy Sholwin on his 25 years of wrestling and let Sholwin know he would be at war on the shore. Jacobs would be at war on the shore not to celebrate Jimmy Sholwin's career, but to end it. A distraught Jimmy Sholwin accepted the challenge, and at war on the shore for the Hype, Jimmy Sholwin will face the Zombie Princess, Jimmy Jacobs, for the interim IPW Michiana Championship. We reached round 2 in our first semifinals match. DR Nolan's Drew Anderson Knight. These two are already fired up. Prior to the match, a short scuffle between the two left them both hoping to meet up, and they got their wish. Both men were happy to go at it, and it was a great matchup. Just as Anderson Knight was about to put DR Nolan's away, Big Jorge pulled off the ultimate double cross, whipping Anderson Knight in the back with a leather belt. DR Nolan's smashed Anderson Knight with one final blow to seal the deal and advance to the finals. Sure enough, Jeremiah Goldmain walked through the curtain to celebrate the execution of his master plan with Big Jorge. While Jorge strangled Knight with the leather belt, Jeremiah Goldmain offered Anderson Knight a golden opportunity. No pun intended. Big Jorge versus Anderson Knight at War on the Shore. If Jorge wins, Anderson rejoins the Golden Initiative Project. And if Anderson wins, Jeremiah Goldmain will leave IPW. On top of that, Big Jorge has chosen to tack on yet another stipulation.
Ooh, Jorge.
Giving myself some time to reflect. I mean, hitting you with this belt over and over and over again. I've decided I owe an apology. You see, the stakes are just really high. I mean, if you beat me, Jeremiah Goldmain retires from Independence Pro Wrestling. But when I beat you, you fall in line. See, to circle back to that apology, I do owe an apology, but it's not to you. I owe an apology to myself. I owe an apology to myself for not hitting you more with this belt. But it's all good, homie. I'ma make up for it this Saturday. See War on the Shore 4 in Muskegon, Michigan. Independence Pro Wrestling on the USS LST 393. Big Jorge versus Anderson Knight in a strap match.
Anderson Knight has already accepted and made it clear that he does not care what he has to do. He only wants one thing: payback. To determine the second finalist of this year's Fate of 8, Chad Alpha would face the biggest and freshest man in the tournament, Brutus Dillon. Getting off to a very fast start, it would appear that Brutus Dillon would be too big and too strong for even Chad Alpha. Chad Alpha absorbed a lot of punishment from Brutus Dillon, but waited for the perfect moment to strike. In an unbelievable display of strength, Chad Alpha lifted Brutus Dillon in the air, slammed him down, and dropped a big flying elbow to punch his ticket into the finals. Either DR Nolan's or Chad Alpha would be our 4th Fate of 8 champion and would challenge Jamal King for the IPW championship at War on the Shore. Former IPW Women's Champion Stella Buho lost her title to Thunder Kitty LaFleur, then lost again to LaFleur when Buho activated her rematch clause. To get another shot at the title, Buho would have to devise a plan. Buho challenged LaFleur to a non-title match just to get an opportunity to challenge again for the women's title. If Stella Buho could win, she wanted a shot at War on the Shore in a first blood match. Our champion came to the ring and accepted the challenge. Stella Buho rose to the occasion and would not be denied, and she was able to catch Thunder Kitty LaFleur in a small package to lock in her title shot at War on the Shore 4. The finals were underway in a matchup between the 21-year-old Canadian prodigy Dior Nolans and long-standing #1 contender Chad Alpha. Both men had the opportunity of a lifetime, and there could be only one. These two fought their asses off, and after a grueling back-and-forth match, a jackhammer sealed the deal for Chad Alpha, who would become our 4th Fate of 8 tournament champion and will receive an opportunity to main event War on the Shore and challenge for the IPW Championship against the infamous Jamal King. That concludes this edition of The Insider. Join us this Saturday on the deck of the USS LST 393 for the most epic event of the year, the pinnacle of Independence Pro Wrestling, War on the Shore 4.